This is my phone, and this is how I stop 100% of social media usage. You might wonder, why do I resort into using this measure? The reason is because I don't want to spend my time just doom scrolling social media like Instagram, YouTube and all of that. Mainly, I don't want to use my phone when I don't need to use them. I'm sure you understand where there are some days that it feels so unproductive because you have just spent so much time looking at your friends' feeds and all of that, and you have accomplished nothing. I did too, which is also why I tried multiple ways to figure out the best solution to curb on my social media usage. Of course, the first measure that I took was obviously using the mind power, the willpower, the discipline. It worked for a few hours in the morning, and after that afternoon, my mental energy gets so sapped that I don't even have the discipline to stop my unconscious habit from taking over. I'm sure you understand that. It didn't work out well. The next step I used was just shifting my social media apps, those apps that I don't want to use, away from my homepage. So it takes longer for me to swipe from left to right, all the way to the end, just to get to my Instagram, my Facebook and my YouTube. Did it work? Yeah, it did. It worked. But only for a while again. Because swiping is a very easy thing that we can do. It's an easy action. Anyone can do it. With enough swipes, you eventually get to the end of the page, right? So you still use social media. Next, people obviously suggested this. Uninstall the app. I did. I uninstalled Instagram, I uninstalled YouTube. It worked for a while again. It worked better definitely. But I can still go to Google Chrome, search up www.instagram.com and I'll still be able to use the unoptimized version of Instagram. And you can still doom scroll on Google Chrome. I'm sure you know that. The best part, or perhaps the worst part, is that you can always download these apps again on the Play Store or the App Store if you use Apple, right? So like, does it really work? No. So the last solution that I stand by for it being the most effective for what I believe in is the use of Unlauncher. Unlauncher is a launcher that creates such that your phone becomes like this. Only the key important apps that you want to use will be on here. For me, I want to learn Japanese. I want to improve my Japanese knowledge. Hence I use Anki. Anki is just some sort of a memorization app. The next one is just a book. It's just an e-reader where I can download all the PDFs so I can read it. The next one is just Note. The Note is just for me to write down my spontaneous thinking onto the notepad. Last but not least, right, is songs, because I don't want to stop listening to songs. This is my Spotify. They're all custom names. And if you wonder like where do I find the rest of my apps, because I definitely need those for other things, right? Like your messaging app. You need to stay in contact with your parents, your friends, right? For me, I use WhatsApp, right? So I just type in WhatsApp and I still get my WhatsApp. The reason why I use Unlauncher rather than rely on discipline is because Unlauncher makes it such that you don't see any apps at all. When you don't see it, your mind don't instinctively want to click on the app. Agree? It makes it such that it is a tool rather than a time drain. Your phone becomes something that is more valuable to you because it helps to build your wealth of knowledge. It doesn't just take in all the unnecessary information that you don't need on that day. You don't really need to know what your friend's eating on Saturday. You don't really need to know what's going on around the place where you study or anything like that. What I meant by that was that a lot of information is not necessary for you to know. What is important for you to know is those topics that you're interested in. And this is why I made it such that I use my phone only to gain the knowledge that I require. To further upgrade your phone so that you will use the phone as a tool is to restrict all incoming notifications. I'm not kidding. From your notifications, from your WhatsApp messages, from your Telegram messages, all the way to your YouTube or whatever miscellaneous apps that you have. Restrict them. Make it such that it doesn't appear on your home screen or the overlay that's on top of your phone. Do that for at least a week and then you'll come to realize that maybe some notifications are better to have on. like for example your email notifications. There's a bit more to understanding how to use email. You can use the filters so that the most important email will get to your view rather than all those random junk which you don't need, right? By having blocked all these notifications, you won't have your attention being taken away by some random unnecessary email or any notification. And you might question, if I were to block all my notifications, what if someone wants to reach me? Someone wants to contact me because it's an important task that I need to get to. And I'll tell you this, if it's that important, if that person really requires your assistance on this certain project, would they still WhatsApp or Telegram you? Would they still do that? If it's so important, then he'd rather call you to get to you, right? That's what I believe. It might not be the case for you, but this is what I sincerely believe in. That if it's not that important, they wouldn't call you. Likewise, if it's important, they would call me. And that's why I do not suggest turning your phone into a silent mode, because you shouldn't be receiving any unimportant messages anymore. This is why Unlauncher is good, because it prioritizes the important things that really needs to get to you, and it makes sure it gets to you, while allowing you to have enough time to do all the other things that you really want to do. The best part of Unlauncher is that you do not rely on this. What I mean by that is that most of the time when we think we want to start up something, you want to learn a new language, you want to learn a new skill from computer science, you want to learn how to program, you want to learn how to cook, you rely on discipline. That's not it. Discipline is only for the short term, for a very short period of time, and after that, it's very hard to continue. What you require is something that I learned from Atomic Habits, is that you need to have structure to how you want to do something. You need to curate it such that it becomes a habit for you to continue doing it rather than discipline. Curate your environment such that you will be more willing to do something rather than having to think whether should I do it or not, and in the end not being able to do it. That is not what we want. We want to be able to get ourselves to do something that we want to do, and that is through structure rather than something that is more spontaneous. Perhaps that might work for you, but in my opinion, I don't think it works. Determination only works in the short term, and having a launcher allows us to have a curated way to use our phone, to use it as a tool rather as a time drain. I've been using the system for around 4 months ago, and I would not want to have a phone that doesn't have Unlauncher. The reason simply being because the amount of time savings that I get from using just this launcher allows me to do is so much more significant, allowing me to do a lot more things that I really want to do. Of course, some people might call it like a Nokia. Why not just get a Nokia? Or perhaps some might even call it a downgrade. But in my opinion, I think it's an upgrade to the standard of living just by using Unlauncher. I'm not kidding. Give it a try. Go ahead and give it a try. If it doesn't work for you, I'm sorry, but at least you tried. Because things are meant to be tried, experimented, so that you understand what works for you and what doesn't. This is my experience with Unlauncher, and I hope that my experience allows you to better manage your time with social media and likewise. Thank you, man.